WRPI Troy, your everything radio station. When I think about Vermont winters and New York winters and Maine winters, I'll tell you a tale about a surveyor knocking on the door of a man who lived near the border of New York State and Vermont. And he asked if he could enter his land to survey the border. And the farmer said, "No problem, go right ahead." And the surveyor came back half a day later and said, "Sir, I got some interesting news. You don't actually live in Vermont, you actually live in New York State." And the man breathed a huge sigh of relief and said, "This is fantastic. I'm getting sick of those long Vermont winters." Every dog has its day. Have you had your day? Are you barking yet? And there we were, and there they were. The radio was blaring, and the TV was fixed on one of those propaganda stations in an airport. The people were lined up and no one was paying any attention. And then I heard that the network paid a whole lot of money to install that propaganda all over the place, and brainwashed and confused. Yeah, I live in a world of make-believe, in the land of the absurd, where there's a couple of political parties that like to keep everybody really confused, and yet they're all in cahoots together playing the same old game. Taxpayer funds come in, a little bit for the taxpayer, and bribes and tyranny and treason take place. Oh, it's a universe out there somewhere. Could never happen on Earth, because I live in the United States of my amnesia, and everything here is peachy keen. No one would ever think of taking a red cent or a copper penny that didn't belong to them. And all our presidents have never told a lie. And all our congressmen have led up to every promise that they ever promised, and every hand they ever shaked, and every baby that they ever... Well, I don't want to go down the line too much there. Some presidents like to sniff baby's hair. You ever sniff a baby's hair? There's something very innocent about that on the baby's part, but what can I tell you? But in the land of the absurd, it's a bunch of perverts and power-hungry fools jockeying for position to see how much they can get in offshore accounts and how many old buckaroos they can money launder before they're through. And most people, when they get in those high positions of power in the land of the absurd, they have senators and congressmen, and they have a thing called K Street where people basically, well, I don't want to say bribe, but money passes hands, and big dinners and extravaganzas, and well, I live in the United States of my amnesia where nobody ever cheats, and every vote in every election was always counted, and no one ever filled out an election form for anybody else. And there was never anything ever brought to a court or justice that didn't absolutely have to be there. But on my planet, in the land of the absurd, in my progressive brain damage, everything is cuckoo, and they prosecute those that are looking to be in office, and those that are in office play the game. It's all about power and money, power and money, power and money. And if anybody on my universe of the absurd ever gets even the little bit out of line, they get sanforized right down to the right size. Sometimes they even disappear. Well, Well, being as we're talking about farmers here, I'll tell you a story about a farmer. Texan's farmer is visiting a Vermont farmer, and the Texan asks the Vermont farmer, "How big is your farm?" And the Vermont farmer points to a big bush and says, "Well, see that over there in the back 40? It goes way over there, and then it extends over to that mountain ridge, and then back again, and you see that dirt road there? That's where it ends, over there by that mailbox." Well, the Texan ponders for a moment before the Vermont farmer asks, "Well, how big is your spread?" And the Texan explains, "Well, I get in my car about 6 a.m., leave one end of my farm, and if I drive all day, I should reach the other end about dinner time." And the Vermont farmer looks up and replies, "Yeah, I got an old car like that too." May your day be happy and bright, and everything in your life not blow up, even though it is dynamite.